Good morning. This is Don Hadley. I'm president of Applied Vision Works, and we're here with a specific segment. It's about something I read on LinkedIn the other day that had an interesting concept, and we've used this before, but it reminded me, and I hadn't talked with you all about it for a while. And that is, a lot of us live in our comfort zone. And in living in our comfort zone, it's okay to do that for days, weeks at a time. Once you start doing that for months at a time, though, I find because the outside world is changing, a lot of times the outside world is changing in ways we don't even recognize. Relationships, our significant other, kids are changing in small little ways because we're so close, we don't see it. And so our capability actually gets worse and declines in terms of having a relationship that's even as good as it was or making it better. It actually gets worse. Being able to impact or bring value stays the same, but also begins to get worse instead of getting better. So staying in the comfort zone is a problem. But when we're presented with something to change or do different, most of us go into the fear zone. That's why we colored it red. That fear zone causes anxiety, concern. I find at my advanced age of 56, I even feel concern. And it surprises me, but a lot of that is because I haven't made the choice to address it. I don't want to address it. I'm almost denying it, or I'm frustrated I have to deal with it. But once I make that choice, take my willpower, take my heart, my attitude, say, I'm going to put effort into it, we get into what's called the learning zone. The learning zone is where we begin to take in data, we're open information, we're beginning to address what's going on out there, what's in here, and we're figuring out how to engage. We're actually beginning to fix the problem. That brings energy, that brings excitement, that brings growth. What is then the next step, if we're really sharp about it, is we challenge ourselves and everybody around us. And the challenge that we give is, how do we not just address the issue, but address it permanently? Address it on a broader scope. Address it for the next 5 years. So there's also a growth zone that's really about being challenged. This is where we find purpose in life. This is where there's transformation, not just in us and others, but our situation, our environment. Learning is good, but a lot of times learning is more tactical, it's shorter lived, it's not as dramatic. We absolutely don't want to live in the fear zone. So a lot of my life, what I've done is when I'm in the comfort zone in one area or more of my life, is I try and quickly as possible leap here. Instead of going through the levels and having it taken time, I like to just jump out here. How do I look 5 or 10 years out with it, broaden the scope, deepen it? How do I get a lot of people involved in it and make the biggest difference of all? So next time you or your team are dealing with something, are you in the comfort zone, fear, learning, or growth? Maybe explain this to them and get them to make that choice to get into the learning, but then also challenge themselves and everybody around them to get to a higher level. We've written a couple of books we're very proud of. We've done a number of podcasts. We've got a lot of written material. We'd love to talk to you about what we do, how it can help transform and change your team to go at things on a growth basis rather than a fear or just a learning or actually declining. My email is dhadley@appliedvisionworks.com. My cell phone is 919-368-9008. And thank you very much for listening.